Peace, peace. What's going on? It's the Hood Mystic, man, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Happy to be back. Let me see. Happy to be back with y'all. Happy to start these daily energy readings. This is the last daily energy reading of 2000 and I said 2019 on there, but it's really 2018, but it's about to be 2019, so hopefully y'all let me slide with that. But yeah, man, get ready for those moon sign readings on patreon.com/hoodmystic. Those are happening January 2nd. We're not going to do anything January 1st, but January 2nd, we're going to hit those moon sign readings hard. So be sure to, tune in tomorrow and I'll give the call out. But yeah, January 2nd, moon sign readings, they're back in effect. And so much to talk about with y'all, man. Such a long week without these daily energy readings. Not just for y'all, man, for me, but definitely needed to take a week away and kind of process a lot of different information I've been being downloaded with, been bombarded with, inundated with, and now that I had a chance to process it, I'm able to talk about it in a way that's matter of fact and will change your life, but you won't believe me. Or if you do believe me, or if you do your own research, then you will find the answers too. But throughout this whole year, I have a message that I'll have to say to people over and over again, because when I first say it, you're not gonna believe me. You're gonna fight me. You're gonna be like, ooh, you right. That's what's up. 3 days from now, you're gonna be like, forget that I even said this shit. So this year, we are going to change our past. We're going to change everything about our past to make it so that our past is perfect, so our present is perfect, and our future is perfect. That's what we're doing this year. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but we will do it. And this year is the year that through this channel, we're going to change the past of many people, because the reality is uh, change is supreme. And it's a whole dialogue that I can get into to discuss how we're going to change our past. But like I said, we got a whole year to fully dive and delve into this idea. But we're just going to kind of open up the can, smell it a little bit, see what it smell like, see what it look like. And from there, we're just going to move forward with this reality that we're changing our future by changing our past. So I'm gonna get to that, but let's jump back into this astrology. This year, we're going to mainly deal with sidereal astrology. We're going to deal with the actual planets and their actual signs with actual stars. I'm gonna still use Western astrology to kind of gauge the planetary aspects, but when we deal with what the sun is in, we're gonna deal with what the sun is in. We're not gonna just I can't really just say that the sun is in Capricorn when the sun is in Sagittarius. That makes me kind of a liar. It makes me liable for the things that I'm saying. And even though I can justify it by saying, oh, it's Western astrology, as I shift my consciousness, I have to be more honest and more matter of fact, so we can deal with a more matter of a fact change in our reality. And so today is a special day because the sun comes in conjunct with Saturn. And the sun in conjunct with Saturn, when you think about Saturn throughout history, people always refer to Saturn or the planet Saturn as a masculine energy when it's not really necessarily true. Saturn is a feminine energy, or what they like to call in esoterica, a crone like energy. Saturn is like a grandmother. So Saturn could be also referred to as a great mother or the parent to the sun. They say a lot of times people worship Saturn way before they worship the sun. So understanding that this is your ancient sun and your present sun coming into full alignment, it's your responsibility to bring some kind of harmony to this situation. You know, you got to get your choir director on, as this energy all syncs up together in the constellation of Sagittarius, Sun, Saturn, and, you know, a little bit of Pluto as well mixed up in there to kind of really sense of like there are people like the irritating part, you know, as an astrologer is like I'm literally saying there is a time where you could attune your spiritual ancient fact of life with your present day fact of life and bring this energy into harmony. But with that being said, people are gonna act like I just didn't say anything. They're just gonna stay in this subjective reality called me, called I, called my life, called my past, called my history, and all of that shit is a farce, an illusion. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is going over people's heads, and I can kind of feel that and sense that, but it's okay. Um, the idea with the sun conjunct Saturn is the idea that heaven is within you, and all of this energy you can bring into tune or to harmony. And what are we talking about is just simply understanding the rhythms of the universal life, so when the music plays you know what to do. I imagine today being kind of like being out at a club and a song come on. And it's funny, I just, as I was saying this analogy, it just hit me that it is New Year's Eve. So a majority of y'all literally are going to be at the club tonight or some form of dancing. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the universal rhythms of life, the things that move you, and knowing what to do when the song come on. So when you hear, it's electric, and you start doing a Dougie, motherfuckers is gonna look at you like, no, that no, what are you doing? Like, you better get into line with what's going on. You gotta go to the left, to the right, step to the back, however it go. But understanding the universal rhythms of life and what would make a person start doing the Dougie or start doing the moonwalk when the electric slide come on is him being out of tune with the universal rhythms of life, because he's so caught up in his subjective form of life that everything is the Millie Rock. Like, no, bruh, you can't Millie Rock to everything. Like, it's an electric slide. You got to do the electric slide or get off the fucking dance floor. So just really understanding how that applies in your life, where you cannot move forward like woe is me and somebody should feel sorry for me. That is an aspect of the ego. That's an aspect of the ego, and the goal is to surrender yourself or surrender the ego and deal with this ancient reality. That's why people hate Saturn, or you've been taught to hate Saturn, because you've been taught to hate this old ancient way of life because you don't understand it. But Saturn is the law, or is the lord of karma. He disciplines, but he also rewards. And so really understanding the full totality of what you should be doing is very much important now. So we want to deal with a couple more aspects dealing with this astrology. The moon is going to be in, it's transitioning out of Virgo into Libra, and it's really been processing. So for this weekend, my sense of time is always thrown off. So we just came off a weekend. Today is Monday. So this weekend, the moon has been in Virgo, really analyzing some shit. And whether you're consciously analyzing some things or not, it has nothing to do with your conscious mind. It has everything to do with your subconscious mind. So when people say, well, I don't meditate, I can't meditate, it's hard to meditate, it's like, You are literally saying, I don't want to tune into my subconscious mind. I literally make decisions for my subconscious mind, and that is a fucking farce. You're wrong. You want to meditate so you can actually know what's going on. If you actually think mentally, oh, I'm worrying about this. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, my mind got everything under control. Oh my God, you got to give it up because mentally, consciously, you control at best 10% of your reality. That other 90%, you want to your conscious mind is simply to tune into your subconscious mind so you can know what the fuck is going on. If you actually use your conscious mind as a tool to really make it out of this matrix, it's literally I'm trying to think of how crazy that is in an analogy. Because it's like you're using the matrix to get out of the matrix, and I don't necessarily think that's how it works. So it's really about the ego today, December 31st. The ego and the negative results that come from dealing with the ego, and how do we get the fuck out of this? How do we get out of it if you feel like, well, I don't know what to do? I hear you, hood mystic, saying I gotta listen to my soul, but how the fuck am I supposed to listen to my soul when I got 50,000 thoughts literally processing through my mind today? The idea of this whole situation is an anagram that I like to use called listen and silent. The same letters that are in silent are in listen. Therefore, when it comes to dealing with your higher self, you have to be silent. Man, this shit don't work no other way. A person can tell you anything. You listening, you doing, you thinking, all of that, but you're not being silent and listening to the higher self. You're not listening to Saturn. You're not trying to figure out what to do. You literally are telling me I don't know what to do, so therefore I'm not even going to try. And if you're not going to try, then there's really no sense of you can listen to everybody on YouTube, but you're not listening to self. Therefore, you're not really attuning to what self is trying to tell you, especially moving forward, dealing with the 2019 and really projecting the energy or understanding that we're in Sagittarian energy and it's really about walking along the path. And when you're walking along the path, right? You're saying that I'm gonna make this journey. I'm gonna take this chance. I'm gonna make this step. I'm gonna build this business. Hey, whatever happens is going to happen. You got to be strong mentally to handle whatever is going to happen along this journey. Or else you might as well stay at home because you know mentally when something happens, you're going to break down. So everything that I'm saying really supports the idea of the path working and where we could be going moving forward. But who's going to actually be mentally stable to make it through the whole journey or make it through the whole pathway? And the only thing that you need to do is really listen. And the only way you could listen is by being silent and being poised and really understanding the silence of the mind is very key. This is not really, some Namre Hango, like none of that. Like it's real talk. Like to be calm, to meditate, to be silent is not an aesthetic. We want to tune into our higher selves. And everybody on this live, everybody that watches this video has a higher self. And it's not me. It's not nobody. It doesn't exist. So to deal with something that really doesn't exist, you got to really put some effort into it and really put this shit in order and understand it. And stop putting down or understanding and digesting other people's shit placed before you. So Neptune in the 14th degree mark speaks to a level of spiritual defense. And spiritual defense, right, is not like a protection where you have a shield around you or nothing can harm you. Spiritual protection is intuition. That's about as good as it's going to get when it comes to spiritual protection. And if you are concerned about an external thing and you're not concerned about developing your intuition, then it doesn't matter what protection spell you do. It doesn't matter who you pay for a protection ritual. It doesn't matter who you buy a protection bath from. It doesn't matter because you're not clear on your intuition. This is the spiritual protection that's being discussed about very much throughout the conscious community. Everybody is really big on protection or spiritual protection. I haven't met a conscious person yet that wasn't interested in that topic. But when we discuss intuition and clarity and really vibrating and radiating from the third eye and the third eye alone, and letting the third eye be your actual seat to the soul, you know, nobody wants to deal with that protection. So it's very important moving forward today to really understand the things that you do. And I think a lot of this part, I'm really talking to myself. The level of busy work that you take on in 2019 really needs to be taken under examination. I mean, the things that you do that does not support your purpose. And that could be a job, that could be a relationship, that could be a habit, that could be a variety of different things that you could be doing in 2019 that don't have shit to do with your purpose. And you're not even in tune to your purpose because you don't meditate, you're not silent, you don't listen, you don't think about building your clarity. You know, I was listening to Sister Myra years ago, and she would say, you know, this thing takes days and years, and, you know, to build psychic energy up, it takes a while. So to say what you can't do is like you didn't never even try. So how, like, of course you can't do it. Like, that's the whole, like, you, you don't work at it. And we need to be so out of our egos and things of that nature to stop thinking that we so magical and so special that it does not require effort. Because it's people on the other side, what is called tapsaya, where the demons, they would meditate for 20 years to fuck your ass up. So, and you wouldn't even meditate for 10 minutes. So you wonder why, you know, you got enemies and things of that nature. Well, they're working harder than you spiritually, and that's, you think that everything is going to come easy to you because you're a good person, because you donated, you know, a couple of dollars to the Goodwill, or you give your clothes to the Goodwill and shit when you can't wear them no more. So that absolves you for anybody ever messing with you. And that's necessarily not true. You know, people will pray long and hard for your demise. Believe that. And if you're not, if you just think because you're high and mighty and you don't need to do shit, then you got another thing coming. So very much Saturn and the Sun is considered to be an enemy of each other, but when they conjunct one another, they turn into lovers. Interesting. Um, we all can relate to that, right? Angry sex or things of that nature. A lot of y'all woke up to people that y'all hate. So it's not even much of a far fetched of an idea to understand a Saturn and Sun conjunction. What I would say is be mindful of the scorn lover when you dealing with this New Year's Eve energy and going out and enjoying yourself, because that motherly energy or that lover energy, it it misses you. And you have to kind of be mindful if you want to partake in that energy or not. And you know, I personally do not. I want to go through 2019 with a clear focus and things of that nature. So I'm going to continuously search for the God within and not answer anybody's questions. You could seek an intimate connection with a external soul. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm seeking an intimate connection with the goddess that lives in my heart. This is the path that I am on. And to me, that's so satisfying. And I don't I don't put sexual energy out in the world to other people. I'm more or less focused on the goddess within. And all of this energy ties into the universe, because if you look at the Thoth Tarot deck, and you could Google this and you can look this up right now, the ruler of the universe card is Saturn, right? So in the universe card is a naked woman, you know, being, in a world, like in a womb or something like that. That looks like a womb, and all of this energy, but it's supposed to be ruled by Saturn, and we thought Saturn was masculine. So maybe Crowley was onto something when he put the universe and Saturn together and made the archetype of that card a woman, where in mainstream astrology Saturn is viewed as masculine and manly, and it's dreaded Saturn. How can you hate Saturn, but then every time you look on TV it's a beautiful woman or things of that nature? So obviously it's a mix up somewhere. Somewhere somebody got it confused. I was thinking about this yesterday, like, damn, I wonder what rap would be if it wasn't like pretty women dancing in the videos. Like, what would rap be if it was an art form that never really propagated women? Would we even like it? Like, would we even be listening to it if it wasn't about women shaking their ass? So I don't know, that was just random. I was just wondering. So ultimately, when discussing this card, I just really implore people to do the knowledge on the universe card, by the Thoth deck, Crowley. Yeah, and do your knowledge, like study this card, man, because it's a lot of knowledge in this card, and really apply this card and the knowledge that's associated with this card, because this card is titled the universe, right? And the universe, and understanding, like, to be God within, like, this is a real thing, to understand that God is within you. All right, because everybody has up until this point externalized God, and even conscious people externalize God. When you gotta have muscles, you gotta have a ankh, you gotta show up in a toga with some sandals on and live the black conscious, fantasy or some shit to be accepted. But if you're just regular, then you must not be woke enough. You know what I'm saying? You better be walking on water or do some amazing stuff to get inside this woke club. But trying to join a community, trying to live a better life, try to be in the wokest person in 2019 is not what we're striving for. The goal is to find God within yourself and project that God within yourself almost daily, almost normally. You should be doing amazing shit every day, all day, out of normalcy, because God is within you. And if you forget that, this channel is going to be here to remind you. So, just like, it's a lot of information that I just touched on in like 25 minutes, but at the end of the day, how does that information apply to you? How can this information resonate with you moving forward is really the key. It's much more that I want to kind of talk about and deal, but it's extremely complex. And the conjunction between the sun and Saturn that's happening today is complex. So if you thinking that it's going to be a simple solution, that this shit was going to be very simple, then you probably gonna get it messed up. But I do have a workaround or a solution to having a simple 2019 and the energy that's necessary moving forward. Uh, it's actually this guy right here, Mr. Ochosi. Ochosi actually rules Sagittarius, which the Sun and Saturn is in presently, and Ochosi represents an energy. He's a hunter, and the spiritual hunter is the one that provides what is necessary and more. That's why I titled this video More Than Enough, because your energy is more than enough. But if you on that same past singularity past of what happened to you, you're gonna be fucked up, man. Because that shit is long gone. Ain't shit you can do about the past. Ain't nothing you can do about the past but realize that the past never happened. And so Ochosi is pushing us forward. Ochosi is propelling us because we have to understand that we are the arrows. And once we propel, and once we up out of here, we up out of here. And there ain't no looking back. You never seen an arrow say, you know what, I forgot something, let me go back. No, once you out of here, you out of here. Once you on that path, you on that path. And you ever been in a race and started looking to the left and started looking to the right? Oh, you done. Ain't no way you can come back if you start looking to the left and looking to the right. If you guys want to win this race, if we all want to win this race, we got to look straight the fuck ahead and realize that we got the energy, we got the power, we're more than enough, and our history and our past is alterable. Can't nobody tell you about your history. Can't nobody tell you about your past. The only thing that can happen is that you simply accept it as a fact. Your mama tell you, oh, remember the one time and da 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 da. Like, that's why I don't even deal with people and deal with friends and things of that nature or family, because they don't know how to project in the future with me. They can only talk about some past shit that I don't even know about. Because I practice radical forgiveness. I'll change the past in a heartbeat because I have the ability to. You have the ability to. So, of course, I'm going to prove this by multiple books and references and points and times in history and things of that nature, that the past is alterable, that we need to change our past in order to change our future. And a lot of us want to have better futures, but we don't want to change our past. We want to have the same narrative, the same story. Don't nobody like me. I used to get picked on, or whatever. I was a slave. My ancestors were slaves. Whatever. All of that shit was taught to you because they very well could have told you about your ancestors that was kings, queens, astrologers, soothsayers, fucking astronomers, mystics. They could have told you about those ancestors, but they specifically are pre-programming you by pre-programming your past. And with that, we're going to move forward. And tomorrow, I'll be back to kick off these daily energy readings for 2019. Be sure to hit me up at the links provided, hoodmystic.com, and all of that. Everything is in the description. I got my solar eclipse video that we need to check out, the solar eclipse article that we need to check out, and a whole slew of other things. I also have the law of rhythm video in the description, which I pulled from to bring this video to light. So, man, you're gonna have to listen to this video again if you didn't understand it, because the energy and the situation or whatever I just said just now is extremely powerful if you're able to sit down and apply it. But if you're not, you know, you can continue to have a good day doing whatever you've been doing. So, you know, peace, love, and vibrations from me and my family. We here, keeping this thing consistent all through 2019. The daily energy readings will be lit. So, you know, be sure to check me out tomorrow. Peace.